Hi, replayers. If this is a replay for you, this is my first YouTube live and first essential oil class. So hopefully everything works out. So I'm going to jump right in. First of all, who am I? My name is Cleo. Hi, guys. And I am an executive wellness advocate for doTERRA. And I'm here today to share with you guys and my friends how to use essential oils to help support your emotional health. And the reason that I'm bringing this information out and the reason I want to share this and the reason I share doTERRA is because I had a profound experience with these oils, and I had not been feeling very well, and I got an emotional kit because I just wanted oils that smelled really nice, and it turned out that rather than having the normal expectations of having oils give me a headache and irritate me, and maybe out of the kit of the 6 that I bought that I wouldn't like half of them, that instead I had this like emotional experience where I feel better. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and share these tips. So another thing is I was recently talking to a friend of mine that I hadn't spoken to in some years. We go way back over 10 years. And we reconnected and just wanted to see how she was doing. And it turned out that she was experiencing a lot of the same things that I was experiencing in my darker moments before this oil experience, before finding things that could help me. And it's just amazing that I'm able to pass that on and share that with her. And it just shows you that everybody goes through that at some point, you know? So if there are simple tools that we can use to help ourselves, why not? I'm going to be popping my eyes over there and down at my notes, okay, just to make sure I keep on time and keep on track and don't ramble too much like I'm doing right now, okay? So, we can speak about what emotion is. First of all, let's just make sure we're all on the same page. I mean, we all have them, we all feel things, right? But technically, it's defined as the body's response to stimulus. So something annoys you, you might feel annoyed. Something makes you angry, you might feel angry, and you might not know why, but it's the body and the brain's response. And that makes them personal, that makes it individual. So while anger is a common emotion that anyone can feel, or happiness is a common emotion that anyone can feel, I think that everybody defines it differently. So I just want you to sit with that definition as we go through what we're going through today and show you the oils and discuss the things that I'm going to discuss with you. Just keep in mind that emotion is basically a personal experience based on your body's reaction to just what's going on around you. So that brings us to the basics. You may already know, you may be familiar with essential oils. You may have used them before, even doTERRA or other brands, any type. And they may or may not have worked for you, but you're here today because you're curious about more. So let's go into that and let's see how they can work for everybody if they're just the right kind. So essential oils are chemically complex aromatic compounds. What does that mean? That means that they smell, they all have a smell, and that they're very concentrated. They're the essence of plants, basically. They're extracted from plants. It's where they come from. So they can be extracted from the flower. They can be extracted from the stem or the leaves. And they can be extracted in different ways. So citrus oils, for example, wild orange, lemon, bergamot, those types of zesty oils are extracted from the rind via like a cold press process to preserve their brightness and keep those delicate oils intact. And then leaves and stems and even sometimes branches, you know, where these oils come from, they can be steam distilled, so they can be extracted in that way. And then some of the most delicate and also the most costly, which is why they're the most costly, oils are extracted with a process called enfleurage. Twists mustache. Fancy, right? Basically, it means the flowers are soaked in some type of fat, preferably a vegetable fat of a sort, and then a complex process and time and waiting to extract those oils into that fat and then get fat out of the oil. So those are just 3 of the processes that are used to create essential oils, to extract them, to get them from the plant and into the bottle, and therefore into our hands for their various uses. And that brings us to where they come from. So specifically in doTERRA, we do what's called co-impact sourcing. And a simple explanation for that is if you've ever purchased anything fair trade, it's the same kind of idea where, except we source directly with those farmers. So we actually have a whole division dedicated to sourcing, and they go out in the field literally in wherever country or region that these plants are grown and processed and extracted, and there's no middleman. They go direct to the source, and doing that helps ensure that they're not being adulterated, that they're also supporting industry where families have been doing this for generations and they have a process set up, and maybe they don't have a way to get their product out there into the market without being gouged by these middlemen who will then adulterate their product, along the way. So it's great that doTERRA goes in there directly and works with them. And they also get paid fairly, and they also get a lot of other benefits, which is awesome, which is a whole nother class. There you go, right? So we've talked about what emotions are. We've talked about what essential oils are. Chemically complex. Essential oils are a single item. They're the essence of the plant. And they're made up of other constituents, which we're talking about chemistry here. That can be a whole nother class. But I just want to mention one. I want to mention terpenes, which is the main ingredient, constituent that makes up the essential oils that we're going to be talking about today. They're the smells. That's what makes it smell. And those are the chemicals that we're going to talk about, how they affect the body and the mind, and how essential oils can help support emotions in that way. So why is all that even important? Why would you care? And that's because essential oils are very powerful, they're very potent, and they can directly affect the brain. Okay. And the way that they do this is because plants and animals function on the same, let's call it a code for now, where if you take a medicine, if you take Tylenol, for example, or a prescription drug, or even an antibiotic, that has to go into your digestive system, has to be processed, has to enter into the bloodstream over a certain amount of time and distribute, and it can't penetrate the cell itself. It can help support the cell by helping get rid of viruses, or not viruses, illnesses and germs and things like that. With essential oils, with these aromatic plant compounds, we're able to bypass that entire process because these oils can affect the cells directly. And in the ways that you use them, I'm going to talk about the ways that you use them. How do we use them? Aromatically, topically, and some doTERRA oils only, I would say, because of their certified pure therapeutic grade and all the testing that doTERRA does, some of those can be used internally, and they're all labeled for that. Aromatic is just smelling it. Do some of that now. If you have any oils around you right now, pick some up, give it a sniff. I'm going to use Balance, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So this is one of the simplest, most accessible ways to use an essential oil. You can just rub some in the palm of your hand, as long as it's not a hot oil, and we'll talk about that later. And just give it a rub, and then inhale deeply. And that's also topical because you have it touching it. So that's topical. The other way to do aromatic is with a diffuser, but you can do aromatic even without a diffuser, and that's accessible any place, especially if I'm traveling on the plane, you guys. I have the Balance with me. And that is calming, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. Let me check my notes, you guys. Okay. Hi, guys. And that's what I was saying is why it's important to us is because they're directly effective. You see how I just got distracted? It's not that the balance threw me off. It's that it threw me on. Maybe I was already a little bit off and it kind of threw me on. So they actually can interrupt what's going on in your mind, which is something we can harness and use to our benefit. Emotional states, negative emotional states that you maybe are struggling with. Anxiety, which is very common with people. I suffer with anxiety. I deal with it. Oils have helped me a lot. I've been using them for 3 months. Everybody's result is typical, and doTERRA, it does not exist to diagnose, prevent, or cure any disease, as these statements that I am making are not FDA approved. Okay? So, disclaimer aside, because they affect us so directly. When you breathe in an essential oil, that takes 20 seconds to get into your bloodstream. When you topically apply essential oil, same thing, 20 minutes to get into your bloodstream. Probably breathing it in is faster, guys, but let me just err on the side of caution and just say the same 20 seconds. And within 20 minutes, that compound has penetrated every cell in your body. If fragrances can affect us this way, if we can just breathe them in, if we can have them touch our skin, if we can consume them, some of them safely, if they're safe, and have them reach every cell in our body within 20 minutes, what do you think synthetic fragrances are doing? They're affecting your body as well. I mean, your brain doesn't know that this fragrance is produced by, this plant or this chemical recomposition of said plant, Food for thought. And we talked about how they're produced. There are so many, for example, I'm thinking of which example I want to use, but there's just so many of the plant material. So whether it's a fruit like a lemon peel, or whether it's roses or jasmine or spruce, there's so much of that material that goes in and is concentrated down. And when they extract the essential oil, it's concentrated life essence of this plant. And because of that, that makes them very affordable. The process in the beginning with the farmers setting up all the equipment and learning this information, that is not an inexpensive process, which is why doTERRA goes and sources directly with the farmers that are already doing it, that already have the expertise generations down the line, and they get these plants where they're naturally meant to be grown, so that all the environmental effects and everything, so that they're not stressed out, so that they're growing in their normal environment. And when we extract that oil, we're getting the purest, cleanest, most effective, safest version of these oils. So how do you use them? We talked about you can use them aromatically, diffuser, in your hands. We talked about how some of them can be used topically. Some of them need to be diluted. It really depends. There's so many. We won't get into the details of that. And some of them can be used internally. So, for example, rosemary oil. You cook with rosemary. You can put oregano. You can put 1 drop of oregano oil into a giant, family size pot of pasta sauce marinara. If it's a small pot, I really just recommend dipping a toothpick into rosemary and swirling it in the sauce, because it's very concentrated. As some of you may know who have had an experience with me with some wild orange and some margaritas, ask me about it sometime. Ask me about it. And now I want to show you some of these oils. Okay, you guys? So we've talked about balance. Balance is a blend. I stuck a roller cap on this one just to make it easy, because I do carry this around and use this frequently throughout the day. It's a blend. It's pre-diluted and fractionated coconut oil so that it's gentle on the skin. You can dilute it further if you are very sensitive. It's in fractionated coconut oil. I'm just going to read off the ingredients. Spruce, whole leaf, frankincense oil, blue tansy, which is in the chamomile family, blue chamomile, which is in the chamomile family, and osmanthus. And it's a fresh, very neutral scent because of that spruce. So, you can use it as a perfume, but also it's just very calming. A lot of men really like balance And I want to show you, come on guys, lavender. Pretty much everybody who's heard of an essential oil has heard of lavender and may even have had an experience with lavender, be that positive or negative. Synthetic lavender made me hate lavender. I thought I hated lavender for years. I've worked in the perfume industry and I just thought lavender was not okay. And then I experienced doTERRA's lavender and I don't have that problem anymore. It's very, it's almost like tea were purple, you know, lavender. If you've ever smelled lavender, it's a very fresh, clean. It's not really too sweet. And lavender's main constituent or terpene is linalool, which is relaxing. So those, when you just open that and sniff it, I wish they had smell-o-vision. That those constituents go right up into the brain and instantly calm and relax. And this brings me to one of my very favorites, which is Serenity. It's a blend that doTERRA makes. This is lavender, cedar wood, hoe wood, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, vetiver, vanilla bean extract, and Hawaiian sandalwood. It's much more sweet, to be honest. But that vanilla bean at the end just really calms it down. I use this when I'm feeling particularly anxious. Most people would use this to help them sleep. It's very calming. You can diffuse this at night. If you have one of the diffusers, like the Lumo diffuser from doTERRA, you can put it on a 10-hour cycle. You can put 4 to 8 drops in your diffuser of Serenity. You can mix Serenity with some other oils. And it also has lavender, no, not this one. There's so many constituents and ingredients and blends. You can't blame me for getting one wrong. That's why they're right on the bottle. You can just read them. One of the things I love to blend with Serenity at night for sleep and put on after a night bath is vetiver, or as we say in my family, vetiver. It's sourced from Haiti, so you guys are supporting generations of vetiver farmers in Haiti, and you're providing them a wage, a livable, fair wage, and with other programs, you guys, by purchasing these oils. So that's another thing that I love about doTERRA's co-impact sourcing. Did say I can get a little rambly, right? Vetiver is one of the ones that you can safely consume, as you see by that. I didn't completely realize that until I just looked at the bottle right now. I've not consumed it, but this is known as the oil of tranquility. It is known for its tranquilizing properties, and it's very less like lavender is more relaxing in the mind. To me personally, like I said, everybody's experience is different, but to me, I find lavender more calming in the mind. In terms of thoughts and things like that. And with vetiver, I personally find it more relaxing to the body, to the limbs, that tranquilizer effect that helps you sleep. So I put 2 drops of this with 4 drops of Serenity. And I usually add a third oil, and that can change up. Sometimes it's bergamot, sometimes it's just a little more lavender. Sometimes it's balanced. And I'll diffuse that whilst I sleep, and I find that I don't get up as much, and I find that I get up feeling more rested. Speaking of internal consumption, copaiba, or as some people say, copaiba, I like to say copaiba, is an oil from a tree in Brazil. These trees are 30 to 50 years old, and it's tapped. They're tapped from, like, essentially from the veins of the tree, you guys. They tap this tree like maple, like, you know, the way they extract maple syrup. They extract this the same way, and those trees have to be 30 to 50 years old. They're gargantuan. They're magnificent. I'll try to remember to put in a link to the source to you, copaiba, video from doTERRA down there, or if I forget, holler at me, I'll send it to you. And this is one of the ones you can take internally, and I personally take it internally. I find it helps a lot. This contains a cannabinoid. Remember those constituents, those terpenes I talked about that essential oils are made of? Well, the main one in copaiba that makes it so effective is a cannabinoid. It is not THC. It is not CBD. It is not cannabis derived. It is non-psychoactive whatsoever, non-intoxicating. It affects the CB2 receptor in the brain, which is not CB1, where THC would activate, or anything like that that would give you psychoactive effects. This affects a totally different receptor. And basically what it's helping to do is keep your body's own natural, because our bodies make cannabinoids, you guys, keep them in the brain and keep them in the system a little bit longer. So it's anti-inflammatory in that way. There are a lot of studies that I could link you to about this. I take this in a veggie cap, like one of those clear capsules that you can buy. You can get that at the health food store, or we have them. I put 2 drops in this day and night. If I'm having a really particularly difficult day, I'll do 4 drops in the early part of the day. And I find that that really personally helps me with inflammation and pain and my emotional state. It also smells really interesting. It doesn't stink by any means, but I found quite a few people that I have sniffed this, that they have that kind of like squinty face like I'm doing right now, like there's something familiar about it. And actually that's because they use it in a lot of fragrances. Copaiba is normally used as a supportive fragrance to help keep other notes up top and alive in perfume. So you might find that that's the truth for you. Oh, and the other thing I really like to do with it throughout the day is just take a drop of it and put it at the back of the neck. This is when you do topical application, you guys, I didn't tell you where. I mean, you can put it almost anywhere in your body, but the places we recommend, if you want for emotional support, is right at the back of the neck, because that's the brain stem. So you're getting some direct contact right there, and it can be absorbed that way. Essential oils are one of the few things that can penetrate the dermis and actually be absorbed that way. You can stick a little bit under your nose if you want to just kind of smell it over as it evaporates, or you can rub them on the bottom of the feet. That's really great at night too. Especially that's really great if you have sensitive skin or you have any concerns about any unwanted reactions. The bottom of the feet, bottom of our feet are very strong, so it's a great place to put some oil and give it some time to absorb. So that's copaiba. And let me check my notes. Of course, I would be forgetting the main reason I came on to share my favorite kit, my first kit, what brought me to doTERRA, of course, right here. The emotional aromatherapy kit. These are the last 6 oils I'm going to share with you guys today, but of course there'll be more classes, so stay tuned. This is Motivate. Motivate is a bright minty citrus. Helps support your get up and go experience. Cheer is kind of smells like holiday, kind of smells like winter, Christmas. It's got orange and I think it has cinnamon, yes, anise, ginger. It's got some of those hot oils in there, and in that way it can really bring some of that cheer and excitement out if you're feeling a little bit less than. Passion is a little bit more fruity, a little bit warm too. And this is great for igniting just a sensation of passion. Okay, this is great. I used this when I was studying because I felt like it helped me really, really keep in the forefront of my mind that I was doing this, that I was studying, that I was looking into the oils because I'm very passionate about them. Helped remind me that. I've also used that to go a dance class. So Forgive is this one, it's mostly spruce like the balance I showed you earlier, but smells completely completely different with that mix. It's citrus, it's juniper, it's got some lemon, it's got myrrh. Arborvitae is a very, very woody tree. I mean, we've got some tree oils, but arborvitae is woody, and it's also known as the tree of life. Arborvitae, the tree of life, and that's also used in the perfume industry. And I guess that really changes it. Nootka tree. I've got to look into that one. I haven't heard of it. Thyme and a little bit of citronella. This one is great for just getting past something. It doesn't have to be, I mean, we call it forgive. It's not necessarily forgive any specific person, but it can really help you get past a moment where you're stuck. I really like that for that. Console is a very rich, heady fragrance. Frankincense, patchouli, sandalwood, rose, osmanthus, and ylang ylang. And this is great for those really intense moments, but it's also just a really nice perfume. Like if you're a hood hippie like me, and sometimes you just really want something with punch for evening, for fall, just really smell like a blend of complex things. It's really amazing for that. But it's great for diffusing when you're feeling sad or missing someone, or you just need to console yourself emotionally in that way. This is powerful for that. That frankincense, you guys. Peace. Peace is one that I use and use and use and use. Peace has some spearmint all the way at the bottom. It's mostly vetiver. I'll go through them all. Why not? It's right here. Lavender, ylang ylang, frankincense, clary sage, marjoram, laudanum, and that spearmint I talked about. Marjoram. Let's talk about marjoram. Marjoram is related to oregano, but it's like a softer cousin. I use it to cook a lot. And yes, I can use my marjoram essential oil from doTERRA to cook with because it's certified pure, therapeutic grade. By the way, none of these emotional blends are for consumption. They're just for aromatic and topical use. Peace is amazing. Like if you're just not in the mood, if you just cannot even, or if you're in that kind of like, if I'm in that freak out mode, then I'm reaching for peace. Okay. It's also good as an alternative to serenity or lavender for sleep. I find that peace is great for sleep. It can be mixed with lavender or serenity or diffused on its own. It can be diluted to 1 drop to 10 milliliters of a carrier oil, fractionated coconut, jojoba, even olive oil if that's all you have. 1 drop to that for children on the bottom of the feet or up and down the spine to help them sleep. I got these 6. I got the emotional aromatherapy kit with the diffuser, and I don't want to get the numbers wrong, but if you buy them all separately at the retail price, it would be $327. But in the enrollment kit altogether, it was $195, and that's a wholesale price because the retail price of the kit is not the $327. That would just be if you were silly and bought it all separately. But the retail price of the kit is $259. So by getting a wholesale account, I got my wholesale account fee refunded. So basically, you know how you get a Costco card, you guys, and you get this wholesale account. You pay 1 fee, and you can just get those wholesale prices. That's how doTERRA is. So you can pay the $35, and you can make your own kit by picking whatever oils or items you want, or you can just pick an enrollment kit, which saves you money, as exemplified by my scrambled numbers there. And I got the diffuser free in that kit, basically, too. And I just thought I would use these and get bored and chuck them and think some stink and give them away and whatever. But turns out to have put me on a path to wellness, and that's why I'm extremely geeked out about this, and I'm sharing with you guys. So if you'd like to know more, If you'd like to know more about even things that aren't oils, you guys, I'll give you an example. Tapping, EFT. If you're really struggling, I mean, there are many things that are out there. Obviously, you can seek help however, help is seekable to you. Hotlines like I believe LifeNet. I'll get back to you on that. Seeking doctors for emotions that can bring you into dysfunction, meaning if you're feeling something negative so powerfully that you can't do what you normally do, you might have heard that phrase. If you're on Instagram, you can see if you don't make your own neurotransmitters, store-bought is fine. That can be in many different ways. That can be prescription medications, and definitely they are valuable. I mean, the medical advancements that we have today are nothing short of miraculous. But the fact that we can help ourselves on the side because our healthcare system, that's a whole nother conversation, right? The system, another conversation. You can help almost 80% of your everyday concerns in your house with essential oils, from like the sniffles, the cold, aches, pains, sadness, broken heart. Essential oils can help all that. So why not use it as a resource? They're not, as one of my someone I admire would say, hippie smelly rubbish. They're not hippie smelly rubbish. They're what you make of them. And science, you guys, in every cell within 20 minutes. So message me. I have a number you can text me at. It is 608-618-OILS, 608-618-6457. I know, right? Oils, right? Isn't that cool? Thank you, Google Voice. You can text me, leave me a voice message. You can message me on Instagram or Facebook. Instagram at terpobsessed, TERPOBSESSED. And you can email me at terpobsessed@gmail. I already spelled it. Rewind, double tap your screen twice, and you'll get that. Thank you for tuning in. And if I can help you or anyone that you know with essential oils or with recommendations for tapping, go to Brad Yates. Go to Brad Yates' YouTube channel and do some tapping. And those are some things that you can do along with essential oils that can affect you immediately if you need help. Okay, guys. Thanks. Bye. How about some questions and answers?